board. And first thing I'd like to do is say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Captain 2. Assessor Fry.
Here.
Highway Commissioner Dubay. Here. Clerk Giovanni is here. Supervisor Diamond.
Here.
Trustee Jones.
Here.
Trustee Horvath.
Here.
Trustee Maher. Here. Trustee Malik.
Okay, we have a number of sets of minutes tonight to look at, budget to. Well, three. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the September 24th, 2024 board meeting.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or comments? May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
The next two I'll take together, I guess they're listed together. We have a motion to approve the agency funding minutes for both October 1st and October 22nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to
Two.
approve. Oh, you want to go?
Can you do it separate because I was not on the first day.
Oh, okay, fine, all right, all right, fine. We have a motion to approve the agency funding minutes for October 1st.
I will make a motion to approve the agency funding minutes for October 1st. Second.
All right, any questions or comments on that one?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
May I have a motion to approve the agency funding minutes for October 22nd, 2024?
Motion to approve the minutes for the October 22nd, 2024 Maine Township Agency Funding Special Meeting. Second.
Any questions or comments about that set of minutes? And roll call.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to number 3, may I have a motion to approve the general assistance expenditures?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 27th, 2024, October 11th, 2024, and October 25th, 2024, and general assistance checks number 55543 through check number 55574 in the amount of $42,095.13.
Second.
Oh, do I have a second now?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Any questions or comments about those? Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Moving on, I have a motion to approve the road district expenditures.
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 27, 2024, and October 11, 2024, and October 25, 2024. Road district checks number 23627 through check number 23673 in the amount of $548,004.12.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Yes.
May I have a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
Finally, do I have a motion to approve the general town fund expenditure?
Motion to approve payroll for pay dates of September 27, 2024, October 11, 2024, and October 25, 2024. And general town fund checks 61356 through checks 61426 in the amount of $393,940.26.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Roll call.
Supervisor Diamond.
Yes.
Trustee Jones.
Yes.
Trustee Horvath.
Yes.
Trustee Maher.
Yes.
Trustee Malik.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. Next, We have public participation.
Ms. Karen, this gentleman right there, maybe it is information.
He's going to be coming under the new business.
Oh, okay, fine. Is there any other name on there?
It's just him.
Okay, just see if, all right, fine, thank you. I'll take it, but we'll wait. And, all right, okay, Mr. Ward, okay, just 1 minute. Here's that there are no other requests for public participation. So we'll move on to number 7. Unfortunately, I don't see Mark Zimmerman here. He's our new bus driver. I saw him earlier today. We could maybe call him and see if he's available, but we'll skip that for now. All right, let's turn to the next item, which is old business, and that is discussion and possible vote on elected officials' compensation for the next 4-year term. So before we launch into a discussion of this, I just want to know if anyone wants to move to table it, or if we should go ahead with discussion.
Can we at least give this gentleman a chance to talk, because I think he's waiting on behalf of the highway, and bypass it, would that be appropriate to bypass it?
No, it won't. I don't know if this will take very long, though.
Okay, whatever you
Is there
decide.
any motion to
There's a
table?
motion to table.
All right. And as we know, this type of motion, if it's to be passed, has to be passed, I think, on or before the 20th of November. So we would have to find another date when we would be available to meet on or before that date. So I can, should I start just calling off dates and seeing which one people can make?
I don't have my calendar, I didn't know if we did it, so okay. That's okay with me, but I don't have a calendar.
Well, all right. Okay, I'll just start with this Friday, and when I'm going to do it this Friday, or?
I can't on Friday.
Okay.
No, after the election, so,
Oh, okay, all right, well, let's see, the 6th, I don't know, that might be too soon.
yeah.
All right, how about the 7th? 14? I think we might have our
This comes, I'm going to be out of town that week. No, the conference is over the 13th. I will be out of town.
Okay.
Should we back up a minute to see if the 7th might work? 7th work?
7th through the 8th, works for me.
Are you going out to your car?
Yes, I can get the calendar.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay. What,
I'll wait
why
for
don't
it.
I
we?
cannot do the 8th, but I can do the 7th.
The 7th is a possibility,
I can do a Monday as well.
like the 18th,
I could do, I can do the 18th.
19th,
I could do the 9th.
19th. 20th, can we meet on the 20th? Is that?
It has to be passed by the 20th, so as long as we pass it.
Okay, all right. So far, people, aside from Jeff, who we talked to, are available 18, 19, and 20th. And the 7th.
What did you say?
I'm available on this.
Oh,
I can get you guys anytime on this.
Okay.
Okay.
And I know that the 11th, 12th, 13th is not good. 14th is not good. Is that what I heard?
I'll be.
15th, not good?
No.
Okay, all right. So, well, all right, we have 4 dates there. Let's just see when Jim comes back, what he says.
Let's do 11. Are you guys moving on?
I think that's a traveling time.
Yeah.
we going to?
Nobody walked in. Yeah, he walked in. He had to use the gold place room.
Nice day, huh?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
It's gonna be nice tomorrow, too.
And it's gonna be nice tomorrow. Wednesday night back, Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon, cleared up.
Trick or treat.
50 degrees.
Oh, that's good.
How was that loss?
Right, her.
All right. Jim, we arrived at several dates that the other board members are available. We can look at your calendar.
18 is good, 19, I have doctor's appointment at 5, but 18 is good.
7th is another day, too.
Oh, we'll do 7.
November 7th,
That we will look if it's nighttime. Yeah.
No?
7 p.m.?
Yeah.
Okay.
November 7th is fine.
All right. So we have November 7th, 7 p.m. Is that good?
Yep. Yep.
Sorry, everybody.
17th?
No, 7th. 7th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
7th.
Okay.
7th is a Thursday. All right. Okay.
7 o'clock?
I think it's 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. All
Sorry.
right, so that will be a special meeting. So our clerk's office will need to take other steps to notify the press. I think you have to do that for a special meeting. Okay, all right. Okay, let's go on then. We should, all right, let's get new business. Mr. Royd, sorry to make you wait, but we do have a presentation, I believe. Ed, would you like to talk about this, just by way of introduction?
Sure. So over the past couple of years, the Highway Department and Spaceco have been working to,
But
It was motion to table was second. We don't.
We didn't finish that task.
oh, yeah, we didn't.
I interrupted by running the
Second.
car.
Oh, sorry, okay. All right, I apologize. Just, may we have a roll call on the motion to table?
Supervisor Madden?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry again. Ed,
no problem.
go right ahead.
So over the past few years, Spaceco and our engineer Ted Ward, along with the Highway Department, have been working diligently to update our atlas in the township. We had an atlas, but it was not detailed at all. And with the work of Mr. Ward and his coworkers, we've been able to update the atlas to much more detail to help with locating any utilities or pipes, and helps our crew to identify emergencies and stuff like that. So I want to first thank Ted for all of his work that he's put in. It's been a lot of work. And then I'd like to invite him up to speak on the topic. Thank you.
All right, thanks for having me tonight. Again, my name is Ted Ward. I'm with Spaceco Engineering. I've been with the township for, I don't know, about 10 years or so now. As Ed said, there was a storm sewer atlas that the township had prior to this project. It was very low detail, only included storm sewer information. And this project we started about 3 years ago, back in 2022, phased it over 3 years for both budgetary and crew time, survey crew time issues associated with it. This was a surveying effort. The old atlas was pretty much a hand-drawn atlas with limited information. So we, over the past 3 years, have worked on updating the atlas to a survey grade collection of data. Prior to, the old atlas was only storm sewer information, like I said. Now it includes not only storm sewers, storm structures, the roadways themselves, curbs, sidewalks, all township-owned assets that now we have digitized and can use CAD to work with instead of having to go out and measure, anything for any given reason. Just to touch on a couple of the benefits of a digital atlas here, planning and design through the annual road program. In the past, we've had to go out in the planning stage of a program, go out, measure roads, measure curves, measure sidewalks, do all that pre-planning. Now we've got that at our fingertips on the computer, saving us tons of times, hours, maybe days on bigger years of projects. We also can keep a better record of when we are meeting the MWRD and the IEPA requirements for storm sewer cleaning and televising, which the township started doing a couple of years ago. That's on the planning and design side. As I said, it's all digital information, it's all CAD based. We work in MicroStation, but if we have to export files to like AutoCAD, which a lot of architects use, or developers that might be coming into town to do work, we're able to export that information in the CAD software they use. And most importantly, the atlas is updatable now. It's not a hand-drawn map anymore. It's all in CAD. As new development comes in or new projects are constructed in the township, it's easy for us to update just from design plans or from as-built survey data that we get coming in. On the highway department side, asset management is a huge component of the atlas now, especially now that we have road data as well. And we'll get into that a little bit more as I show you some examples of our atlas pages. But it's really a what and where of what we need information on, where that is in town, and we have that at our fingertips again. And again, I'll get into value and replacement costs as we get in here as well. And then most importantly, like Ed touched on, an emergency response. Prior to this atlas, if the highway department had to respond to an emergency storm sewer collapse in the middle of the night, they'd have to send a crew out, figure out what they're dealing with, where they're at, what material they're going to need to repair that problem that turned into an emergency. Now, every single member of the highway department has a digital copy of this on their phone. They can look at it before they even respond to this incident, know what type of material they're dealing with. Is it a plastic pipe, a concrete pipe? Is it a failed manhole? Is it a 2-foot manhole? Is it a 4-foot manhole? Anything like that is now at their fingertips, and they can go straight to the yard, pick up material, and head straight to the response instead of having to go out there, assess the situation, then go to the yard, then come back. So it's just a huge time saving in that respect. So getting into it, this is an overall map of the township as far as the road district's concerned. Over all 20 sheets that are part of this atlas set are township-owned assets. It could be roads and sewers, it could be sewers, it could be just roads in some locations that are drained by ditches. If we dive into what sheet I have here, so we're looking at this section of the atlas right now. We're by Washington School. This is a screenshot of that page of the atlas, and I'll dive into it more, but you can see a ton of information's on this page. As we get further into, I think I had picked out Flora and Victor here. This image comes from a screenshot from our CAD software, so that's why it's in color here. But as we get into it, you can see where every structure is, what the pipe material is, what the size and length of that material is. So like I was talking about an emergency response, if they have an emergency they have to respond to, they pull this up on their phones or tablets, they see what they're dealing with, they can respond to it with material already in hand when they go out. I was talking about asset management, so easily now in CAD we can total up all the township assets, and currently the asset only, or the atlas only includes sidewalks, curbs, roadways, and storm sewer information. Right now, the replacement cost of all of the roadways, curbs, and sidewalks in the township right now is around $34 million. Taking into account, almost 90 or over 92,000 linear feet of storm sewer that was surveyed as part of this atlas update. Replacement cost just for the storm sewers in town is about $9 million. The updatable component to this and other assets that the township owns that we will eventually update, as time allows, are taking an inventory of street signage that the township owns, pavement markings, and anything else that we aren't yet aware of that is a township asset that they want to incorporate into the atlas. And then lastly, being able to update this, we've got a couple of projects that are in the pipeline. This is the North Main Drainage Project over by Lyman and Harrison. This project is still in the design phase and is not incorporated into the atlas yet, but as soon as this project does come to fruition, is built, the atlas will be updated either with the design drawings or the as-built drawings after it is completed. And then you may remember from a meeting last year or 2 years ago, the MWRD has a project plan going down Ballard Road right here that are going to add some new box culverts and storm sewers along Ballard Road here. And once that, if that project ever goes, all that information can easily be added to the atlas as well. So that's all I had for tonight to present on it. I'm happy to answer any questions about it.
That's impressive.
Wow.
Thanks, Mr. Wood. Did you want to see if there's any questions about it?
Does anybody have any questions?
So you're just doing the atlas, you don't have anything about condition of anything that we have?
So we did do a condition assessment of the roadways only about 4 years ago now, but we have not done an update to that.
And is that what you do also?
We do that as well, yeah.
But right now we need this atlas done to
Correct.
locate.
Correct. And like I touched on with the storm sewer televising and cleaning, when we do the condition assessment that we can do is focused primarily on the roadways, curbs, sidewalks. We need an actual sewer televising contractor to do the inspection of the sewers. And so as that gets done, we tackled about 10,000 feet of sewer winter before last. And as that happens every other year or so, when we build that data, we'll know, where we've got infrastructure that's starting to fail, it's already failed, and be able to plan for it instead of it becoming an emergency.
Wow, that's terrific.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate all your work.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next item of new business, which is discussion and possible vote on creation of an OEM part-time position. Jack, would you like to step up to the podium?
Sure, absolutely.
I understand that in the past, maybe a number of years ago, the OEM director had a part-time assistant. We haven't had one recently, but Jack is here to tell you what he'd like to engage a part-time assistant for, about how many hours and what that person would do.
Absolutely. Good evening, Supervisor Diamond, trustees, elected officials, ladies and gentlemen. I had the wonderful opportunity in February of this year to become the Director of Office of Emergency Management. I have walked into the unknown, and it's been quite a bit of fun. There's a lot of people here, sitting in this side of the building as well as here, who have been really a great support. Ed, by the way, I would like a copy of the atlas. I love it. It's great. From emergency response. But here's what I have found. So since February, I had the opportunity to be a part of a lot of events here at the township, off of Ballard Road. Very busy road. Wonderful events, wonderful people, great things for the people of the township themselves. What I have found out is a couple of things. A lot of traffic, a lot of pedestrian traffic, a lot of vehicles parked, and a lot of opportunity for something to happen. So with that in mind, since February, I was also diligently searching for volunteers for Office of Emergency Management. And those volunteers came in different forms. Some people wanted to do it, some people didn't want to do it, some people were more excited, some not as much. Everything was fine until they learned that they had to be available 24/7 on birthdays, holidays, and everything else that comes with it. At which point, that's what shuts things down. So volunteers in Office of Emergency Management are totally different than any other volunteer in any other subdivision here within the Maine Township themselves. So it makes it a little bit unique, it makes it a little bit different, and it makes it very difficult for me. Looking at that, the other things that came to light is what's going to happen in continuity of operations. What if something happens to me? What if I'm not able to come to work because I have issues at work at my other primary job, or I have family emergency, or what if I'm sick in a hospital? Well, someone has to be able to step up to the plate and to be able to help out. Highway department has been fantastic, along with as well as other departments, but I cannot strictly rely on them because I'm not always going to be able to have someone take that light truck, which is our pride and joy for Office of Emergency Management, to provide lighting in case of emergency management, not just through our incorporated areas, but as well throughout the township themselves. So I started looking at different alternatives and different solutions. Obviously, the volunteering stuff was not working, so I decided to approach both the administrator as well as the township supervisor with an idea of, is there a possibility for a consideration of maybe having someone part-time as needed, when needed. So this is not a dedicated position but based on amount of hours. This doesn't change my responsibilities, testings, and dedication to the position. However, it just allows a continuity of operation. What if something happens? We all know nothing happens until something happens. When is that going to happen? I don't know. If I could, that would be fantastic. So with that, I approached the administrator, I approached the supervisor, and I appreciate the opportunity to present this to you folks as well. That I think that there is such a need, but ultimately that decision is up to the powers to be sitting on my left-hand side who can make the decision. But again, this is only based not on a quick knee-jerk reaction, but more on a very carefully thought out system processes as well as litmus testing of what do I need to make this successful just as something happens. The other part of it, or the final part of it, is the part-time or part-time employee or employees, whatever it may be, would have the ability to operate the emergency management vehicle, which currently under the rules and regulations, the volunteers are not able to do it. And most importantly, in case of a true emergency, this would be a force multiplier. I mean, I know I can count on everyone who's sitting here from other departments, but what if something happens to me where I'm not able to be able and someone's going to have to take the lead? That is kind of the reasoning and a little bit of a background based on the last 7 months of being in the position and having the opportunity to be involved in a lot of different things. And I'll take any other questions at this time.
Ask the board members if they have any questions.
You are a great speaker.
Thank you, Master.
How many hours did you say?
This will be as needed, when needed. The only thing that would be consistent, per se, would be the pre-planned yearly events for the township themselves, which we have here on the board, so we can guess or guesstimate the amount of hours, as well probably once a month, which would be a training over at the Office of Emergency Management. This is not an 8-hour training, but it would be 4-hour training per once a month, and that would be to teach the individual the processes, the equipment, hopefully the Atlas system from the Highway Department, if I could take a look at it, to be able to provide the knowledge that we would need.
And do you think the hours would ever go over 19 hours a week?
No, by no means. As I said, this would be as needed when needed. It would truly be my responsibility to be fiscally responsible and to be the fiduciary person for this position. Why? Is because I have a certain budget that I have to maneuver within, and that position would not be taken advantage of. It still would be my primary responsibility. This simply would be a force multiplier and a contingency plan just in case.
You'll do the training, or is it online training?
So the training would be in multi-phase. Some of it would be that we can do ourselves in-house. Some of it that would be done through EMA or FEMA online at no cost to the township at all as well. Currently I'm going through a class with Buffalo Grove, which is free class, and that's my best resource. If I can get it for free at no cost to the township, why not? So that would be, the only expense would be, let's say if there's a class that someone would have to attend to, there would be a must need to have, then it would be the hourly pay for the attendance.
Sounds like a good idea.
Any other questions? From what other officials said?
I just had just a comment. I've worked with Jack on a number of occasions, and he's a very hard worker. He's been a great asset to the township, and I know how hard it is to find paid employees, let alone volunteers. So I think that it's a good idea to have somebody to assist you in whatever emergencies or events may arise. However the highway department can be a support to you, please let us know.
Thank you, Commissioner, as always.
I agree. Anything else?
I was thinking maybe more than one person, since it's only as needed. If Jack wanted to or suggested it, maybe several options, several. Instead of just one, it doesn't have to be one person, right? It might be more than one.
Well, obviously the decision belongs to the board as well as however, how I look at it, if I were to have it my way, if I were to be the king and Burger King for one day, I would ask for everything. The reason why I would ask for everything is very simple. If you have one, that one person has family, that one person has responsibilities, they have their loved ones. If you have two, that means you have one. If you have three, you possibly have two. In case of a true emergency, when that's going to happen, every single person would help. So if I could have it, that would be great, but ultimately I will leave that decision for the powers to be to make a decision on that.
Gives us options, more than one person. Just an idea.
Did you tell us what the rate of pay would be?
Again, that decision would have to come from the board. However, I would like to say I have done a market research out there on my own. I'm not going to throw out the numbers because I don't think that would be wise on my part. However, let's think of it this way. I truly appreciate the comment from Commissioner Rivas' side. It is hard to get someone who is a poorly paid individual, right along the right individual. Those of us who are in the business of recruiting people find it very difficult to find people that are not necessarily the right fit, but who come to work at 8 o'clock versus 8:10. So I think that the amount of pay equals the amount of service that you're going to get, the determination and the dedication to the position. So again, the decision is solely up to the board, but I think if we can go a little higher versus a $14 an hour starting, which is the minimum wage in Cook County, probably would be a wise and would behoove us.
Okay, can we have a motion? I don't think we have a question yet.
Why we have this part-time hour as needed? Why not we can have a minimum hour, like every week or month we can say, we can work like 40 hours or 30 hours, 5 hours as needed. Maybe in a month you have just needed like 5 hours. So you're not going to make money 5 hours. So we should have some, set a minimum hour. Doesn't matter if we have a work or no work, it's there. So we should have some minimum hours, like pay period, we can say, 2 weeks, yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be enough room for him or what, I don't know. I think what you're...
May I answer that?
Yeah.
Sir, so I do believe that I understand exactly where you're coming from. It's kind of very similar to my position. I have a set amount of hours per se and a set budget per se. It doesn't mean that I'm utilizing this budget because at times I am way under that budget, and that's again because of management and being frugal and careful and cautious with the budget. So if the board decides that there should be a set amount of hours, I would agree with that. However, it would be my full intention as being in charge of this individual in the position to be very cautious and very careful with spending that money to truly save that money when it's really needed in case of emergency. So just to give an example, if it's, let's just say we're allocating, I'm just throwing out a number, 10 hours a week, but I'm just throwing out this number. This is not the magical number, and it doesn't have to be the number. Obviously, it's not that we're going to be using 10 hours a week. Out of that 1632 per month, we would only utilize maybe 8 or 10, and everything else would be set aside. But this way, there would be actual tangible number that you speak of, sir. But that's, again, that set of numbers and those hours, I can give the administrator and the supervisor some numbers, but we were looking at tentatively per month, but that decision would belong to you folks.
Do you think that it would be difficult to find somebody without having like an ideal number of hours?
So ma'am, I believe that not everybody is going to be me, and not everybody's going to agree to certain terms and conditions of a transactional business or position, right? With that said, I was able to utilize people that I know who are police officers as volunteers as needed when needed to be able to fill some of the gaps. I do believe that you can find someone. I think it's more of someone who is going to be, who has to be the right fit, and here's why I say that, who's willing to say, okay, I'm not going to be getting paid $40, $50 an hour that they can make somewhere else, right? But yet they want to either learn, they want to continue something that they came back from, whether emergency services, fire, police, whatever it is, something that they like to do and they like to tinker with. Some people like to fly planes. Other people only like to stand in the middle of the traffic directing and crossing the road. That comes with a professional hazard, I would say, and personal preference.
Okay. So ideally, you're probably looking for somebody that probably has a full-time job already or some sort of job and they're just looking to pick up some extra work here and there?
Correct. It would be an augmentation, but someone who already has some sort of a background or some sort of experience, whether it's law enforcement, emergency management. It doesn't have to be that, but I'm saying someone who is willing to say, hey, I'm interested in this, or someone who is really willing to learn.
Right, like they want to get...
Exactly.
Brad, could you utilize some of those hours if you had to for like training personnel, or like you had talked about bringing the radios up to date, stuff like that? I mean, is there a need for some of those hours to bring additional training and resources to EMA?
Well, I try to maneuver within the hours that are set for me to be able to do what needs to be done. The project we have going right now, the radio project. A lot of it is just it needs to be done, so I do it. I wouldn't rely so much on the individuals to do that. However, they would need to be sort of involved in it to have at least a backup of what it is. So some of those hours would overlap, but again, it would be my primary vision and function that I would dedicate most of the time that I have allocated for my position description, and then just to keep those hours when I need them, or set hours per month or week, whatever it is, and maneuver within them to be able to achieve the training, to be able to achieve the requirements that the individuals would need. Is it a perfect world? The answer is no. But I can tell you, going from nothing to something would be much, much better.
Any other questions? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion that would allow Jack to hire up to 2 part-time assistants, and it would be at his discretion how many hours to hire them both for? Sure.
Motion to create up to 2 part-time positions for OEM. And the hours would be up to the director's discretion.
Yep.
If I may, I would like to work on the actual hours with the administrator, if that would be okay, and then present them to the supervisor as well. I appreciate it, but I mean, I want to be a king, but I don't want to have all that responsibility. I would like to make sure that it's approved by the right board.
Okay, all right. Does someone want a second?
Second as amended, per Jack's words, which we're good.
All right, if, have I got that? Okay.
Get that?
All right, any questions or comments on that? Then a roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, Jack, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you very much for one night.
Two.
All right. Let's go on to our next item, toy conference awards and arrangements. Dana, I think you are talking to this, is that right?
I'm going to be passing out folders for the TOI conference for you to take with, for those who are attending. So please keep your suitcase when you pack. And I have included in these,
Thank you.
okay. So you can go over it when you get home, but some of the things I put in there are some of the information for the Crown Plaza, the address, the phone number, the confirmation for your hotel reservation, just want to make sure there's no issues there. The conference daily schedule, which one came out a couple weeks ago. I made some dinner reservations for Tuesday evening, mileage and expense reimbursement form, and my cell number. I am going to zero, but just in case there's a glitch or something doesn't go accordingly, you know how to get up with me. So this should be everything that we need for those attending. Okay, another thing I would like to share with you is some good news. Speaking of the conference, is that we did apply for several awards, and we got word that we have won 3 today. So one of them is for Summer Sumbrook, I'm saying her name right, who is a mainstay family therapist, and she won the 2024 ACPOI Staff Award, and mainstay volunteer Rishna Kotak, who won the 2024 ACPOI Youth Leadership Award. And Richard's coming down so he can accept those for them. And also our senior department won for the Innovative Senior Program of the Year Award through ITSSA, which is Illinois Township Senior Services Association, for their annual mystery trip.
Are all the directors going?
Richard is attending, Eva, myself, and Kathy Savini
Oh.
will be attending. So obviously we'll be accepting those at the awards breakfast.
Oh, nice. That was a
Will
nice.
Marie's person be there by any chance, or will you just,
I will
Your-
not, I'm sorry, I can't.
but your person who is winning an award? That's
It's,
your
you know
department,
what,
right?
it's for, no, it's the whole department.
It's for one of the programs, the mystery trips.
So you guys will accept them.
Awesome.
Yeah, one of the board members can go up and accept it.
Okay.
We'll have to make a lot of noise when that happens.
Yeah.
That's
We're going
obvious.
to do parade of flags this year.
Yes, yes,
You have volunteers to bring the flag.
I will, yes.
And he's going to march across the stage with it too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strap it down to the top of the truck.
They're taking the flag to ready to go, so I can be in the parade. So, you want to stay up here? I think I'm next time.
Yes, just 1 second, just in terms of awards, you know, our staff often gets compliments too. I mean, they're not awards, but they're compliments from our staff. And I don't know if you might have seen this one, it was sort of stapled to the back of the report. It's one of our general assistance employees, and that is Luis Menezes. I always say your name wrong, I think. And you might have seen, there's a very nice comment written about her. It's in your packet. And what I think is nice is this is someone who serves as a caseworker for it. And sometimes caseworkers, they get sort of frustrated with, I mean, the clients get frustrated with their caseworkers. Caseworkers maybe aren't always able to give them everything they want, but this person was clearly very appreciative. So I think that's great. All right, great. Okay, I guess we should move on. The next item is discussion. And it says possible vote on road and bridge estimated levy, but I think that may be a misnomer. I think actually, Kurt reminded me, but when we're adopting the levy, we're really sort of adopting. I mean, this isn't the final levy.
This is just the estimate. The truth in taxation law requires that we estimate what we think the amount is going to be before we adopt the final levy. So this is just the estimate. It's not binding, but we do have to set that number out there before we adopt our final levy.
All right, and do we actually vote on this as the estimated levy?
You can, it's not mandatory, we just have to have some consensus that this is what we think the tax levy is going to be. The real purpose of this is to let me know if it's going to be more than 105% of last year's levy. If it is, that's when we have to go through a truth in taxation hearing, we have to publish the black box notice. So that's really the main question, are we going to go over 105% or not?
All right, I think the answer is no, is that right, Ed?
Not for me.
Okay, right now we're just talking about road and bridge. So, Ed, do you want to say anything about your your estimated levy for this year?
Yeah, the highway department, we'd like to keep the levy flat again for 2025. Not to say that there isn't ever a reason to justify an increase in the levy, but I want to say that we're very proud that we've stayed flat the entire term that I've been in office, and we've been able to utilize reserves, grants, and pursue other sources of revenue to be fiscally responsible for the taxpayers. So, thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Ed. I suppose we could vote on it. It might not be necessary, but we can actually. Anyone have any questions about the road and bridge levy? No? Okay. All right. Pete, would you like to do a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Moore?
Oh, wait, we don't have motion.
There was no motion.
Sorry.
Would help.
There was a motion to adopt the road and bridge estimated levy.
Do we have a piece of paper on that, or?
Motion to adopt the road and bridge estimated levy.
Second.
Make a roll call?
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
All right. Now, similarly, on our agenda, we have discussion of possible vote on the town fund and general assistant estimated levies. We have a choice as to what we're going to do. We could raise it even without a hearing up to 4.9%, or we could just keep it flat this year. And that would be for both the town fund and general assistance, or just for one and not the other. So I think we have in our packet both I think we have both what it would be if we kept it flat or if we kept it at 4.9. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So you should have two different versions. One is flat, which would be the same amount that we levied last year, which is $5,532,967. So it's the same as the 2023 tax levy ordinance. And then what I calculated was a 4.9 increase only in town fund, keeping general assistance flat, for a total of $5,759,438, and that would be a total increase of about $226,000. So we have been gradually building up our funds, but with the resources steadily growing, it's kind of the time to evaluate how to allocate them, and obviously the next couple of months we're going to be in budget meetings, the department heads and talk about how we're going to some of our
The same to me, but what number Dana was 5532967.
That's the flat one, and that's the same as 2023, and then you see one, the bottom is about 5.7 million, and that's the 4.9 increase.
Gotcha, 5759.
They're around at the same time.
They look the same, but they're slightly
Slightly different.
Important page.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What are the assessor's office make on? Comment?
Yeah.
We've been doing a number of certificate of errors, and we're going back to 2018, which that is significant to the township because once those monies get paid out, they're back actually from our coffers a little bit too, so we'll be, a little bit behind in the money that we get.
Do you have any estimate as to what that would be?
Well, I would just say this year alone, we did a record-breaking $2,030,148 and some odd cents. And that increased from 70% higher from last year. So these are going back all the way to 2018. So that money does, comes out of what we get.
Right.
Because it's refunded to the taxpayer.
Right.
So that might be a consideration.
I mean,
Did we go
don't
maybe
lose that.
2017 for a while, Liz?
Pardon me?
We went 2017?
No, 27.
Just 18. 2018, this year. So, and the prior year, I think we were at 1,191,000 and something that was refunded to the taxpayers. So, just something to think about, because that is money that goes back to the taxpayers, and that comes out of the money that we receive.
Right. Now, those amounts that are being refunded would be from all taxing bodies, right? So
Yes,
So-
it would include.
So most of
Yes.
that's going.
It would be divided up between different taxing bodies.
And
So Susan, do you have an opinion on your line item then?
I'm sorry, sir?
Do you have an opinion on your line item? I'm looking at your line items as 242,968 or 231,619 as what's levied to the assessor.
What are you looking at?
At the same document we're all looking at?
It might,
231,609.
And so I'm wondering, based on what you said, do you have
I'm just saying from the certificate of errors that we've done this year so far. It's, up 70% over last year.
the expensive? Yeah.
I think of all those refunds, I think that dollar amount that you mentioned, I think about 5% of that, 5% of the taxes are for us, probably even less than that. So I mean, it's a small slice that.
It is, but I just wanted to let you know.
Thank you.
That because, and it's all the prior years too. They come up, it's just not for, moving forward in this next tax year. So, just a consideration.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25 years? Because we're paid for 20.
I mean, not everybody applied for certificate of errors, but we've gone back to 2018.
Right, so
What are you up to now? If you're up to, if you've gone back to 2018, what you're up to going this way?
Well, we had to do them out for the 23 tax bill because of the assessor being delinquent and filing those for us. So the tax bill that they got, a lot of people didn't get that figure into their tax bill. Had to do a certificate of error to get that money back. So the tax bills have been off.
Right.
So you've done 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, and now you're.
Yeah, 18 going forward to 23.
So 5 years.
5 years. So we've done.
So each year, is it about?
And so last year we did 1,991,000 or something. So, that accumulates into what we got in our coffers. So that gets reduced to us because it goes back to the residents.
Right, so
So
you're
what
talking
would we ask for?
potentially 5 million, is that?
5 million in
per year?
refunds
Yeah,
to
we want-
taxpayers, not from us, but from
Right.
any taxing body
Right.
as a result of those certificates given.
Right, it goes to the schools.
Right, but
you know,
affecting our levy, are you talking about a potentially $5 million, if it's $1 million?
No. I mean, if you're going to levy at 4.9 under the 5%, you know,
No, what I'm saying,
I'm
okay.
sure
It
you.
would
I'm
be,
not making myself.
so, Vicki, I think you've done these charts for me in the past, like what percentage of a tax bill revenue of a person, any given like homeowner in Maine Township, what percentage comes to Maine Township? I think it was like under 5%.
It's like 3%, we did like a chart a few years ago.
It was less than five.
Yeah.
So,
About 3, I think, 2 or 3.
Right.
so, I mean, yeah, it's a small percentage of a large number. So anyway, that's, anything else on that, Susan? Okay, all right, anything
Because
else?
you're talking about the levy, that's why I wanted to just.
Did you understand my question, though, Susan, about the levy?
I'm sorry, sir?
Did you understand my question?
No, I did not.
I don't know if you have these documents, these levy.
Oh, over what we got from Dana?
These two ordinances, right.
Okay.
All I wanted to know is your opinion on the final page, on the vote page, the important page, it says that to the assessor, 242,968 or 231,619. So that's, I guess, the amount of the levy that's going to be.
Well, but that's, you
Yeah,
know,
just-
that's the whole levy what Dana projected at doing, just staying flat and then doing a 4.9 on the whole township. So I'm part of the township, the assessor.
I just wanted
The only separate division would be GA, they have their own, and of course, highway.
Okay, so, just by my calculations, if there's 5 million to be returned in tax dollars, but even 5%, which is more than 50%, but even if it was 5%, I think that's 250,000. So out of our total budget, it wouldn't be a huge amount. So it's something I think we could absorb, but again, it's a guess, so I guess I just don't present. Right, any other comments from other board members? Or anything from administration in terms of new expected expenditures or new expected amounts that we might face? We're fixing the road this year, so that's good. Do we see anything else coming down the pike next year? Okay, all right, that's reasonable, that's fine. Okay. All right, any other questions or comments on this? I looked at it, and other people might have different opinions, I fully agree with that. I think that we can afford to keep the levy flat for both the town fund and the general assistance. I think we definitely should keep it flat for general assistance. But I think we can afford to keep it flat for both funds, just like it's keeping his levy flat. So, if anyone wants to make a motion to that effect, yes, go ahead.
Would you refresh my memory, please? Is it 3 years if you keep it flat? What's the rule?
That's it, it's called, it's informally referred to as the look-back rule. That's if you, if you reduce your levy.
Yes.
For PTEL purposes, it's going off what our current levy is and how high you can increase it. If you reduce it, you can always go back to the, within the last 3 years. If we're keeping it flat, it's not really going to impact the.
Right. I couldn't quite remember that, if it was in flat. Thank you, Kurt.
Question for Kurt, too.
Yes.
Kurt, in your opinion, Kurt, if we leave it flat, the levy, what, if any, effect might that have on it if we vote on November 7th to increase salaries? Is that likely to really affect the levy and not have enough money for the salary increases here? If they're modest salary increases, would that inhibit us from doing that based on leaving the levy flat?
you know, that's gonna, whatever you're gonna levy is gonna impact what you're gonna be able to budget for next year.
Right.
So that's really the main consequence of it. Yeah.
So it could affect our ability to give raises and stuff. Potentially, I'm just wondering. Hopefully it won't affect that ability at all, but I'm guessing it won't. I don't know. That's my question.
Yeah.
Right. I guess I'm also looking at this, if we're going to do a salary study, and the salary study comes back and is telling us that people are, let's say, way underpaid for certain positions, then do we have that
Flexibility, if we've already voted on it, but
Even for like just a small little. What's the date that this has to be officially adopted?
Last Tuesday,
December 30th. Okay.
But we have to adopt an estimate 30 days before.
20 days.
Oh, 20 days, okay, so we
Right.
could,
But
we
it's
would have
not
to do it at the November board meeting.
We could?
We would have to do an estimate at the November board meeting and the final, no later than the December board meeting.
But I mean, we could do what we did now, and adopt the estimate today,
Oh, yeah.
and just change it if we need to.
We could adopt the estimate, if you adopt the estimate 4.9 today, you're fine. If we decide to lower that when we adopt the final levy, that's okay. The concern is if we adopt it at 4.9, decide to go above 5%, then we have to do an additional after the fact notice.
But if we adopt a flat and realize that we need 4.9, we can change it that way, correct?
Yes, that's what it is. As long as we don't go above 5.
I say we table it until the November meeting, based on Kurt's advice and what we discussed already, just in case we can get that voted on November 7th, prior to the November board meeting.
Nice to see some budget numbers before to make everything happen.
Yeah, although we usually don't do the budget
I
until
understand,
like
so
February.
it'd be nice to see
So,
budget numbers.
Right,
yeah,
but it's hard
just-
to,
Yeah, it's just sort
I
of.
always thought this is backwards, actually.
You know, it does seem odd, it actually does seem odd, but this is what the statute says, that it's just sort of weird, but that's what it is.
I mean, we're just, it's not binding, we just adopted it.
Right.
Either one, and then revised it.
Well, if you'd like to pass an estimated one, I'll make sure this is on the agenda for next month too. So if anybody wants to change it, then we can do it then, if you want.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. So, are you in the process of making a motion?
No, I mean, I can.
Okay.
Motion to adopt the general assistance estimated levy and the town fund estimated levy.
And is this as a flat rate?
All right.
Again, it's not binding, this is really just to confirm that we're not going to go above 105%.
Yeah. Flat. Okay, flat is fine. Yeah, okay. Motion to adopt the town fund and general assistance estimated levies at a flat rate.
Second.
We have a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond,
Yes, this estimated levy, yes.
Trustee Jones,
Yes.
Trustee Horvath,
Yes.
Trustee Maher,
Abstain.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so again, this will be on the agenda again in November. So if you want to do, any research or anything in the meantime, that would help you firm up your decision, that's by all means. do that.
Or if you want me to calculate any other percentage or.
Right, it could be somewhere in the middle. It could be
Exactly.
2 or 3% or something
Right,
like
I can
that.
show you how, another calculation works.
Thank you.
Well, Dana, thank you for putting this together,
Yeah, of
by
course.
the way.
You're welcome.
Great job on that, thank you.
All right, the next thing is on our agenda is discussion of start time and agenda for the November 26th meeting. Now, Kelly.
Yes.
If you recall,
Yes.
I think you suggested and we agreed that we would meet early on the 26th of November to have have a discussion about what are some of our plans for next year. I don't know if that's how you would put it, but
Yeah.
something like that.
Couple upcoming events.
All right, so,
An optional meeting.
all right, Evan has to send out a notice of a special meeting or a notice of time change of a meeting, because you're anticipating it would start at 5:30, did you say? 5:30?
Yeah, I think we said.
5:30. So I think if we change the time of the meeting and move it up like 2 hours, an hour and a half, we have to send out a notice, don't we?
Sounds
You don't
like a
have to
dinner
publish.
meeting to me.
What's that?
Sounds like a dinner meeting to me.
Yes.
With no food. Of course.
It's a
Or we'll do it.
brainstorming session.
Okay. Pete, I'm sorry, Kurt,
If we're just changing one meeting at a time, we don't have to publish notice in the newspaper of that change. It's just advisable to post a notice of the time change.
Right.
Then we have to post the agenda the same way as we would have.
all right.
48 hours.
20 and out.
Yeah, and I think actually maybe we're just supposed to, not publish, but just send an email to the news meeting saying
Anybody
it's
that's
going to be at 5:30. All right, so is anticipated that we'll go straight through then? We won't?
I would think so, but
Okay.
I like the idea of dinner.
Okay.
Having a pizza or
So
something.
are we buying dinner for the entire room? Or
Well,
just for the people who are here?
I guess whoever shows up at 5:30
There's some really thin people here.
for the meeting. Then I
Maybe we
guess,
show up on time.
I guess we'll have a packed house then.
All right, and what did you want?
It's pizza's fine, or what is it? Bring it back.
Super dog.
Brown paper. There has to be vegetarian options.
Okay, cheese pizza, so I don't know what else you'd like. If anyone has any other suggestions
It's only
or
gonna be two
requests,
from work, so.
they can voice them.
You could deep fry some turkeys in the parking lot. Check their insurance.
Third
All right, Eva, do you need to know anything else for the meeting? Just
Question
you have
is,
time?
notice it will be as a special meeting before the board meeting?
No, it sounds like it's going to be one continuous
Just
board
one
meeting.
meeting.
Not a special meeting, but a
Right.
continuous meeting, so, but we should let anyone who asks, the news meeting, whoever, that it's going to be 5:30.
Yeah, but are we still gonna then break to do our little 6:30 thing we always do? Because I didn't think we needed to.
Well, okay. Well, all right, so I'll take one thing at a time. So you said, should we, I mean, we can certainly pause the meeting, we can briefly adjourn it for.
I guess I was just thinking it would be like an hour before we normally get here at 6:30 for anybody who wanted to come as an optional thing to one of the brainstorm. So I guess, I think it's a special meeting.
So,
Does that make a difference?
if it's a special meeting, then we have to publish if it's a special.
So, that's just, we just have to publish a notice 48 hours in advance, but we don't have to, nothing has to go in the paper.
All right,
Then we'll adjourn it and
we can do it that way. But Eva just needs some direction as to what she needs to do. So,
Usually what I do is send notice to newspaper about the board meeting, like 48 hours, this Friday for like Tuesday's meetings. Now, should I change the hour to 5:30 or just leave it at 7? This is what I thought at the beginning, because we're going to do like a meeting.
I think it should be a special meeting.
Official time.
In my opinion, it should be a special meeting because people who are coming for the regular agenda may not be interested in that. So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't
they'll
want-
have to sit through 2 extra hours.
And I don't
Something
want
that they're not interested
everybody
in.
else to feel like they have to be here, just everybody who's interested. So,
My question is, do we have to really send the notice the newspaper?
We don't have to publish any change in the
Right.
newspaper, but
Right.
any news agency or media outlet that's registered to have updates, we still have to update them if we're going to schedule a special meeting.
I know that, yes. And my question to the parent was, before this meeting started, if we have to let, not publish in the newspaper, but if we have to let the newspaper know that we have this is, I thought what parents said before. Like, still have to let the newspaper know, not like publishing the newspaper, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if we have a media, any media outlet that said that they want to get notices from us, then we'll have to send them the
They're supposed
notice.
to know.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I think, sounds like the last thing I heard is special meeting at 5:30, and then just the regular meeting at 7. Is that, are you good with that, everyone?
Yeah, I just thought we would be like an hour.
Okay. All right.
That was fine.
Pizza. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, let's move on to official reports. Susan, we can start with you. You wanna go ahead?
Sure, thank you. Actually, that was going to be the beginning of my presentation, was how many certificate of errors that the assessor's office has done, which has increased over 70% from last year. And that's because of inconsistencies with the dates for appealing and filing exemptions for the Cook County Assessor's Office. And we've also experienced a new year of bad things that we've had to go through. They've lost exemption files at our office that we sent to them. They applied the wrong base years on senior exemptions, and I'm throwing stuff out, and I'm sorry, you guys, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about, but if I get deep into it, it's just a little bit more mind-boggling. They didn't apply the exemptions on the tax bills which were filed, and they made it difficult for residents to receive a revised tax bill with their exemptions on the tax bill. Adding to that, we had additional audit times. I don't know if you go past our office, but you can see files that we can't even put away yet, stacks and stacks all over our office, because we continually have to go through them to make sure people have their exemptions, and it was filed properly through the Cook County Assessor. Another situation that we've come up with this year, we've had a mass of people coming into our office wondering why their tax bills now and their escrows have doubled. Well, the problem was we had, within 16 months, we had 4 tax bills. So that makes it like, okay, your taxes are going up like double, 50% or double. And, we have seniors coming in that are still paying mortgages, people, even just regular people coming in paying mortgages. Well, what the heck? My taxes went up. Well, no, we try to show them, no, they haven't gone up, but we paid 4 tax bills in 16 months. And you're supposed to be, and the banks, yeah, they don't know. They think that your taxes are going up because they're taking it out of your escrow. So a lot of times, because people can't deal with the escrow companies, we are actually calling them and talking to them, sending them the tax bills and showing what the taxes will be. And a lot of times too, their exemptions were included on the tax bill. So it's like a double whammy for these people. And I mean, you can hear the clerk's office or GA that the people in here, they don't speak English well or something like that, and they're like crying because they were paying like $500 a month in their escrow for taxes. Now they're paying $1,200 a month in their escrow. So it was really a big thing for our office. We're inundated with people coming in and trying to explain to them, and then having to actually physically call the escrow companies and call and talk to them, explain, send them the paperwork, so we can get this kind of resolved, for these people. The only, things that people had let that go, eventually the escrow companies would have to refund that money to them, because they can only hold 2 to 3 months higher than reserves on their money. So here's the thing with the assessor's office, dealing with the Cook County Assessor, the Cook County Board of Review, you have to have someone in the office that knows how to talk to them and how to deal with them. So this has been a very, very busy year for us with different scenarios that we haven't come across before, but the assessor's office has gotten through it and just waiting to go into our next year which will be our triennial reassessment year. And now we've heard that the assessor is going to have a new program coming out on January 1st, which they have not informed us how it's going to go down. So we're going to get out of our AS 400 program, we're going to AS World, and we're not going to get any training on it. We're going to wonder what we're going to use with our other program that we do have to succeed in helping our residents. So it's kind of a little bit a situation, but we've managed this far. I'm sure we'll go forward and get through with that too. Well, thank you for your time.
So just a couple of things. Just wanted to give everybody an update on where we're at with the MWRD Ballard Road project. They had sent us the plans a couple of weeks ago. We are now in the process of sending back our comments this week. We should have our comments wrapped up, and we'll hopefully get the ball rolling with that so they can stay on target for spring, summer groundbreaking. Currently, we're trying to, like Ted had mentioned in his presentation, we're trying to obtain a state of Illinois easement off of Harrison for a drainage project that would bring flood relief to Maine North and also complement the future MWRD project that's happening along Central Road. Not sure if any of you have heard, that's going to be a multi-year, huge project that's going to take place on Central Road in the next couple of years. So hopefully we can get this, the easement and help the residents in that area with flood relief. Also, the IGA, the government agreements with Park Ridge, the city of Park Ridge and Niles have been finalized for the bike lane along Church and the new sidewalks on Church and Western. And we're hoping to break ground early spring on that project. And then finally, I just wanted to, I sent all of you an email, but if you know anybody who wants to donate any toys, we're doing the Toys for Tots drive through November to the first part of December. So if you have anybody, please refer them over to us. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Sure. When's our cutoff date on the Toys for Tots?
It's the, I'll get you the date real quick.
It's like the 8th or something.
December 9th. That's a Monday.
Can we put a box in for that one?
Yeah, I have extra boxes, so.
Do they say Toys for Tots on the boxes?
Yeah, they're from the Marine Corps Reserve, so.
Yeah, if we can have one, that'd be
We have like 6 boxes, so we can bring one over.
Oh, great.
I can put one up in my work too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just wanted to add to my written report that the office has been really busy continually with passports and also a lot of people coming in with the elections, wanting to know where they can vote, where they can register, all that fun stuff. So thank you to my staff as always for directing people where they need to be. That's it.
All right, now, also I'm going to turn to you in a second, but I did want to correct something on upcoming events, which is on the second page of your agenda. It should say Neighborhood Watch, November 6th, which is Wednesday. I did ask Mike to put down marquee, which he did on one side, since that's Halloween, on the other. Maybe after Halloween, you can put it on both sides if you want money. Sure. Yeah, and you see the other items there on your list of upcoming events, so make a note of those. But for now, Asa, would you like to mention anything? Would you like to mention anything?
No, nothing to report. Just I want to just thank Hannah for report. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
No,
Thank you. All right, Jim?
Yeah, I have 3 things, briefly.
Okay.
Just want to publicly commend Richard Lyon, our mainstay youth department director. Once again, his employees continue to win awards. I was present at Trunk or Treat, and once again, Richard was a leader there in costume, and Jenny Raffy, I guess, she's got to be commended for her idea. I think that event was outstanding, and I think in the next couple of years, it'll be really well populated. There were so many kids out there, I couldn't believe it. It was a beautiful night, just an excellent event, and just congratulations, Richard, for your continued leadership in your department. Your employees continue to excel. Also, I want to publicly recognize Marie, once again, her department has the most interesting events, and in particular, she has 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's, which I think is a memory loss issue that confronts all of us, and we're all going to have to face it eventually. And it's nothing to do with I just had a memory test and didn't do too well. It's nothing to do with that, but I think we should promote that in the future, Alzheimer's, since it's something we're all facing. Alzheimer's. So thank you for me, and also for your award that you got for your department. And finally, Marty Cook. I wanted to thank Marty for his programs. He continues to think of interesting programs. 2 of those are Monday night sober yoga, 15 participants, and also the sober women's dinner. So I think that's attracting women and ladies who have substance abuse issues. I think that's sometimes overlooked with women kind of get neglected when it comes to that, or they don't get the treatment they need. But Marty continues to think of good and innovative ways to attract other people to his programs, which of course are great for the township, rehabilitating adults who need help with substance abuse. So thank you, Marty.
Okay. Kelly?
If anybody's interested, Maine East is having their variety show coming up in a couple of weeks where kids do all sorts of performances. It's going to be on the 7th, 8th, and 9th of November. They're going to have kids singing and dancing and doing skits, all sorts of things. So it's going to be fun. So if you go.
Is this what they used to call like a V show?
Yeah, it's a V show, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Okay, doing some things there.
Okay, so I wanted to thank the assessor's office for all your hard work and diligence. I received one of those letters from the bank that is not fun. But then you're like, oh,
Get out of escrow, get out of it. If you're over 20% loan to value on your property, you can get out of escrow and be in charge of it.
yeah, way over that.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you.
but anyway, so I appreciate you taking care of that. I know you guys work so hard, all of you, so appreciate that. And as well as the highway and clerk's office. I attended the veterinarian vaccination, mobile vaccination event briefly, and boy, I could not believe how many animals were here. It was, the parking lot was full. Jack, thank you so much for all your hard work with that. I could not believe it, how well attended it was. It was amazing. So that was a great event. I missed the trunk or treat, which I'm disappointed because I would have loved that. Couldn't attend. And of course, as we already discussed, Neighborhood Watch is next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I again invite everybody to attend, anybody who lives in the community, to get informed on anything you want. Basically, if you have an issue with zoning or parking, or you want to talk to the fire department or the Cook County Sheriff, or you just want to know what's going on in the community, please come and join us. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yes, I went to also with Kim at the vaccination for pets at the Toys R Tot. There have been a lot of cute pets and kids in our parking lot over the past month or so. And Jack, thanks for decorating your vehicle for the trunk or treat. That was interesting. Ed, you guys did the same. So it was fun to be out there with little kids and see all the costumes. Just some financial information. We may have addressed this at the last meeting, the garage sale, how much money it made. I was just really delighted at that. It was back in September, but I can't remember if we actually had the figures at the last meeting. But the camp is going to get about $4,800, so that is terrific. We also got a smaller amount, but every little bit counts, from the Comptroller's Office, the state of Illinois. You've heard of iCash. You individually can go through and see if the state of Illinois owes you any money. Well, apparently, I learned by going to the list that it owed Maine Township some. So we got about $500 back from iCash, too. So, and then another one we've received is from Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities, unfortunately, closed their building, closed their food pantry. But sort of the silver lining is that we got a couple of their freezers, and I want to thank Mike, Nader, and Steve, and Sam, who all moved those freezers incredibly, got them into the elevators, moved them down, tipped them on their side, moved them into the pantry. It was scary to watch actually because they're huge. But the guys got them in there, so that's great. And we also got a lot of other furniture from Czech Catholic Charities too, which is now in our garage if you want to go down and see what's there. We got a lot of equipment and furniture from them. So anyway, that's another thing that we received. Okay, oh, and just one announcement regarding general assistance. We got a notice that supervisors needed to adopt the new general assistance payment level for one adult equal to greater than $439. Now, actually, a little bit earlier this year, I think it was, we raised our amount to $450. So we're already ahead of the curve there in terms of the amount that we provided in rental assistance to our general assistance clients. So, anyone else have any announcements about any type?
Question.
Yeah.
For the Toys for Tots, do these gifts have to be wrapped in what age?
Unwrapped.
Unwrapped. And any new? Yeah. But is there an age group? I mean, is there an age range?
There's no age range listed, but I think just anywhere probably from kindergarten through early part of high school. I was probably 8th grade. Thank you.
Okay, and were they going to be donated on a certain date or brought over, or what were you thinking about that?
So they were going to let me know. Usually they're spread pretty thin. So last year we did a drop off.
Okay.
Well, we like to do an event at the end, kind of like a community event with everybody to come out and take a picture and have some electronics.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you
So maybe we could talk about doing a culmination event where there could be one final drop off.
All right, well, you'll let us know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, all right, I think that is it for official reports, and now we need a closed session. We will need to come back for closed session, probably to vote on one final item, which is listed on the agenda. But may I have a motion to go into closed or executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation, which is probable or imminent, a report and discussion on security matters, and to discuss the appointment of employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees. May I have such a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes.
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
All right, so we will be going into closed session and coming back briefly. Open session. We take roll again, or you
Don't have to unless it's,
Not mandatory.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we are back in open session. Does anyone have a motion they'd like to make?
Motion to hire James Lawton as the Community Outreach Coordinator position for Recovery Connection.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion or comment? I think we need a roll call.
Supervisor Diamond? Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all that is on our agenda. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Oh, 2 seconds.
Supervisor Diamond?
Yes?
Trustee Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Horvath?
Yes.
Trustee Maher?
Yes.
Trustee Malik?
Yes.
Okay, all right.